Hello everyone, I'm Norman Musa and welcome to Norman and Friends live cooking demos. Now this is a program, a live cooking demo that I will come up with my friends, okay, from all over Europe, in Netherlands, in the UK, France, okay, and many other European countries that I'm going to come up with. So every Thursday, but you have to check the time because it may vary. Like today, we're having live at 5:30 in the afternoon, okay? So next week with Melissa, we're going to be live at 2:30 in the afternoon. So do check out my schedules, yeah? So you can check it on my website, Instagram, and also Facebook. Right, so we have our first guest, well, my friend, actually it's not a guest. So welcome to the show, Francis.
Hi, Norman. Welcome, everybody. Hello.
Great. So, right, before I get Francis to introduce herself and tell us a bit more about her works, and I know she's such a busy lady. She just told me it's another exciting project that she's been working on. So I'm going to tell you briefly about this show. Yeah. So it's actually 60 minutes show. So we're going to share with you one recipe each. So we're going to take turn cooking. Very simple dish. This is something hopefully going to inspire you to cook at home, right? So yeah. So for the recipes, you have to, well, have to be nice to us anyway, because we might upload it on the website. Also, you can, for example, like for my recipe today, so you can get it from my recipe calendar. And I think for your recipe, Francis, you adapted from your cookbook, right?
I have uploaded this recipe to my website in Dutch and in English.
Oh, wow, you're very kind. So anyway, but yeah, we're going to upload our recipes. You can get it from the website. So you're going to see the link below this live demo. So you're going to see, and also another thing that you need to do, follow us on the social media. Okay, so follow Francis on her Instagram, Facebook, and also YouTube. You have a YouTube channel as well, right?
Yes, I do.
Yes. So yeah, so do follow us because we want to keep this momentum going. I know like everyone's having like, well, not exciting time at this moment. So we're here. We're going to inspire you with all our wonderful dishes. Okay, great. So Francis, do you want to tell the viewers about yourself then?
Yes, I will. Well, my journey started, I suppose, in 2016 when I participated in the Bake Off. And I became runner-up, which was very exciting. And since then, I've published 3 books. The last 2 of Indonesian cuisine. One of them is Basics of Indonesian Cooking. It has everything you can think of in there when you want to start to learn the kitchen. And the other book is Bersama, which is a follow-up from this one, and it's all about sharing food and the food that you make when you have people over, and the dishes you like to cook with your family. So this is what I love to do. The Indonesian cuisine for me is very much part of who I am. It's what I was raised with. So my cooking style is very homey. It is not difficult. I always say to people, if I can do it, you can do it. So all of my books, all 3 of them actually, are written in a way that everybody can cook this food. So I'm quite excited about this, and I'm also quite excited about what I get to cook in a minute. It's yummy food. It's vegan, not just vegetarian, but vegan. I've adjusted the recipe, so it's all really yum. I think.
Great. Okay. So, and of course, I mean, if you want to find out more about Francis, so do follow her on her social media. And of course, you have the website as well. I think we have it scrolling down here.
It's scrolling down the bottom there.
You can point it like that.
Yes, so down there.
Right. So what's going to happen is I'm going to let Francis cook first, and then I'm going to have it full screen. So you have like a very good view of what she's cooking. And then towards the end of her cooking, I will come and join in. And then read out some questions or so if you have any. Okay, but do tell us where you're watching from, because we would love to know where you're watching from. I know it's going to be quite late for Far East. I think it's about 12:30 in Malaysia or Indonesia as well, I think. Yeah, so but we're trying to target like the European audience here. Yep. So but again, you can watch this recorded video, pre-recorded video. So we're going to upload it on our YouTube channels, right, Francis?
Great. So, sounds good. Looking forward to that.
Great. Okay. So yeah. So please, type up questions if you love what Francis cooking. Also myself as well. So you can always just like give thumbs up or something. Yeah. So so when you're ready, Francis. Yeah. So
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I'll see you in a bit, Norman. Okay, so I'm making Martabak, and Martabak is really like a pocket bread, or it's a little piece of dough that is in a pocket, and it's typically street food, it's snack food. Although nowadays, I just cook it for a meal because it's got everything in it that I need. Right, so the first thing I need to do is make my dough, my pocket. So for that, I place flour, 150 grams. Now, this recipe that I'm making today is for 2 people or 2 pockets. The recipe that I have uploaded on my website is for 3. So usually, I probably only eat about half a pocket, and my daughter eats a whole one. So that way you know how much you need to make. A pinch of salt and about 75 mils of water. I don't put it all in there straight away. And then I'm just going to stir it around with a knife. I'm old school, so I use a knife. And I'm seeing that I need just a little bit more water in here. So this is really easy dough. Flour, water, and a little bit of salt. That's it. So you'll see that the dough starts to come together. You might want to add a little bit of water if you need it, just a touch more. Just so that I know that the dough is going to stick together and be cohesive. Now, it's looking really good. And you can see it pretty much, you can see it there. It's really cohesive, nice soft dough. And all you really need to do is just make sure your dough comes together. It doesn't need to be over kneaded, doesn't need a lot of kneading at all. And it actually is not even going to really be a very smooth dough by the time you finish kneading it. If you need to, just put it on the, knead it on the bench a little bit more. Doesn't need a lot. And then you're just going to divide the dough in 2. Little ball. And the second piece also. And put it into the dish. Just going to wipe my hands on my bench. And put a little bit of oil over top, just so that it doesn't stick. Pop a piece of plastic on top, a piece of plastic foil, just pop it on the top. And you let that rest for about 30 minutes. You know, you can do it a bit earlier if you need, if you're pushed for time, you can make this an hour beforehand and just set it aside, and the dough is going to rest now and settle and come together. Now, I have already made these, obviously, because I want to work with them later on when I show you what I'm going to do. So now we're going to make the filling. Now, normally, if I'm making a vegetarian version, I would use eggs to bind my mixture. But because this is a vegan version, I'm actually going to do it with corn. So I have, in my mixture, I have pieces of broccoli, just rosettes. And what I've done is I've sliced the rosette into small pieces. It doesn't need to be even or anything like that. Just small pieces, probably about 1 to 1.5 centimeters big. That's all. So I've got about 1/4 broccoli in here, about half a leek cut into very fine rings and cleaned and dried. I've got half a capsicum or a bell pepper. And I have also chopped some asparagus tips. You know, the very small ones that you buy in the supermarket. I've just sliced them very finely chinoise, made them, you know, diagonal pieces. I don't know what it's like for you, Norman, but in our house at home, everything was cut diagonally. That's just the way we cook. So that's what I've done. We also have bean sprouts, but we're going to use those later on. Bean sprouts don't go into this mixture. Right, so now I'm just going to mix this up. Everything that goes into this pocket needs to be vegetables that cook quickly. So you don't want to put anything in there that's going to take a long time to cook. That's why you cut everything really small for the same reason. Now, I have corn, and I'm going to put a few spoons of the corn in here because I want some of the corn to be whole kernels. I don't want everything pureed. So I'm going to leave that in there. And then I'm just going to puree the rest of these corn kernels. And with that, I also have 2 cloves of garlic. Now, the garlic I'm going to crush. Crush it straight into the corn. And then I'm going to puree the corn with the garlic. Okay. So that's that. Set the corn aside, and we will use that in a minute. Corn everywhere. Don't want that. Okay. Then we're going to make the dry herb mixture to go into the vegetable mix. So I mix my dry ingredients separately because that way I can mix them quite well through my vegetables, and the spices are all distributed evenly. So I have a tablespoon of flour, a tablespoon of corn flour. I have half a teaspoon of salt, which sounds a lot, by the way, but it's actually not too bad because you've got a lot of sweet vegetables in here. A quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and I have 2 teaspoons of vegetable stock powder. Now, you could use a mushroom stock powder, a Maggi cube also. So this is vegetable stock powder. And I'm just going to mix that. And as I said, I mix this separately because that way, when I mix this dry mixture through my vegetables, it'll be distributed properly. So I'm going to just pop them in there and mix it through my vegetables. So really what you're getting is that your vegetables are coated with a little bit of flour. I don't know how well you can see that, but all my vegetables are coated with that flavoured flour mix. Okay, so now I'm going to add my puree. Now, my puree, in combination with the flour that's already in my vegetables, will be enough to bind everything. I do want to add just a tablespoon of water to my puree, just to loosen it up a little bit so it's not stodgy. Actually, just one little splash more. So I have a nice loose mixture. And then I'm going to add it to my vegetables. So now I have a gorgeous vegetable mix, which will be the filling for my Martabak. Perfect. Okay. Now this is way too much for 2. This is the recipe for 3, and that's what you get in the recipe when you download it off my website for 3 Martabaks. Okay. The next part is the dough. I made it before already. So I'm just going to pop this away. I have 2 balls of dough, and you need a little bit of flour just to dust your workbench, because you're going to roll these balls of dough out to about 2 millimeters thick, which is not very thick at all. You don't want them too thick because they're going to cook in this mixture. Right. Rolling pin. Dust the workspace. And you roll out 1 ball of the dough. Dust that as well because it's quite sticky because of the oil. And you just roll it out. Now, the important thing with rolling out any kind of dough is to make sure that your dough moves around on your workbench and it doesn't stick to the base or to your workbench. The reason being, if it's sticking, by the time you lift it up, it will stretch, which can make the product that you're making also sometimes get a wonky shape, which is not what you want. So roll out the dough, keep it nice and mobile on the workbench, and that you can do that by adding flour if you need to. Until you have a nice shape, round shape. It doesn't need to be exact, it just needs to be big enough. So my dough here is about 2 millimeters thick. You can see it pretty much how loose it is, and it is about 30 by 30 or just under 30 by 30. I'm just going to leave that for a minute. Now, what I want to do is I want to make sure that my mixture tastes good. I don't want to make a mixture, have it made into the pockets, and then find out that my mixture's bland. So as I cook, with everything I cook, taste as you go, really important. So I'm going to put my stove on and put a little bit of oil in my sauce, my fry pan. And I'm just going to fry a tester. I just want to make sure there's enough seasoning in my mix. Right. In the meantime, I'm going to fill this. So I'm just going to, while that's warming up, I'm just going to recap what we've done. I have taken vegetables, just going to let that fry there for a second. I've gotten different vegetables and I've made a mixture. And my mixture has broccoli, it has asparagus tips, it has capsicum or red bell pepper, it has corn in it, and it has, what else has it got? Leek. It has the leek in there. That I've mixed up, and I'm binding it with some flour, some cornstarch, and all my spices, and I'm using pureed corn to make a binding mixture. My dough is simply flour, water, and salt. Right now, I'm just tasting to see that my filling has got enough flavour. Right, in the meantime, what I've done is I made a dough And I've let that rest for half an hour at least. You can do an hour, that's all right too, but it needs at least half an hour. And for now, I'm just going to taste this flavour to make sure that it's got enough seasoning. Perfect. Okay. All right, happy. So next, I'm going to pour a little bit of oil in my saucepan. So pretty much a layer in the base of the saucepan. Doesn't need to be deep fried. You just need to have a layer in there, probably about 1/2 centimetre of oil. And I'm just going to leave that there to warm. Actually, my stove is quite warm already, so I might just pop that over here. Now, you also have some bean sprouts, but we don't actually have to use the bean sprouts until we fold the pocket. So we're going to fold the first pocket. You've seen that I've got some dough here. So I'm going to place a rectangle of mixture, at least 2 or 3 tablespoons of the mixture. Make sure that when you put your mixture on your dough that you don't have pieces sticking out that could break the dough, because everything that's in here is raw, so it can be still a little bit hard. So make sure that you're putting it on there in a fashion that it's not going to tear your dough at all. So any pieces that will stick out, you want to lay them flat. There we go. So on top of that, that's my mixture. On top of that, I'm going to lay some bean sprouts. Now, we don't need to put the beans to cook any of this because it's all quick cooking filling. So anything that goes into this, you need to be able to cook it quickly. Okay. Also with the bean sprouts, make sure that they're laid down in a fashion that they're not going to tear your dough. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold the pocket. The bottom piece over the piece of dough over the top piece over the side. It's like an envelope. And there you have one ready to go. That's it. That's all you need to do. It's just a little pocket filled with all kinds of fresh vegetables. I'm going to make the next one now. So you redust your workbench. Dust your piece of dough. Roll it out nice and thin, 2 millimeters max. Keep your dough mobile on your workbench. Now, normally, this is a bit of interesting information. Normally, when I'm making bread, for example, I don't like to put any dough on my workbench unless I really need to, because what you need to think when you're working is 5 minutes already. Oh dear.
No, don't worry. No pressure. Don't worry. I know you're doing extremely well. Huh? So
when you're working, yes.
No, it's very interesting how you prepare your the pastry for the martabak, actually, because we in Malaysia we have a similar martabak, but we use the roti canai pastry. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and also I also introduced like an alternative, which is using the spring roll pastry, which is nice and crispy. That's another way of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to read out. No, you carry on with your preparation.
Okay.
Right? So, I'm just going to read out some messages. Like we have Richard and Tricia watching from London. Hello. And then we've got Marvin watching from Reda. Okay. And then Esther watching from Malaysia. And it's very late now. So it's almost like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I hope she's still awake there. And then we have Margaret watching from US, from Jersey. Yeah, so we have lots of fans there. Well, not fans. We call them friends. Yeah.
Nice. They're from all over the world.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, so I'll let you carry on with that, and then So
okay. So I'm folding this pocket, and then I've actually, in the meantime, I've already put my oil on to heat it up. So as I was saying before we had a break, when you're baking with any kind of dough, you have to remember that any dough that you put on your any flour you put on your surface is going to be added to your dough. So in this case, it doesn't matter. That's fine. But if you're making bread or cake or something else, just think of everything that is in here is going to change the structure of whatever it is you're baking. Right, now I've put these pockets, they're ready to go. I have a medium heat, and I'm putting the pockets into the oil, just laying them flat into the pan. Just going to wash my hands a bit and clean my workspace. And in the meantime, these are cooking nicely. Now, what we're going for is a golden brown crust. See how we're going here? Nice. It's starting to brown gently. Now, the reason you have a really thin dough is because, however, your dough needs to be thin enough that it will cook through. So this is why we're going for a dough that's only about 2 millimeters thick. This is looking good. Just going to get a plate. So I have one plate which I'm going to cover with some kitchen paper towels, because once we take the Martabak out of the oil, we want to drain any oil, excessive oil. Now, what can you serve Martabak with? Well, one of my favorite sauces to serve Martabak with is a tomato chili sauce. And to make that, I usually use roasted tomatoes because they're so much sweeter once they've been roasted. A lot more flavour. Oh, these are looking great. I think you can see how well they're already roasting. They're nice and brown, golden brown. Now, this is a vegan version, but you can use it. You're back.
Yes.
But you can make them. My original recipe is with prawns and chicken,
Wow.
which is yum.
Is this the recipe's in the Basama cookbook, is it?
This recipe is in Basama. In the Bouse's book, in the first book, I actually have it the way you described it, with the spring roll wrappers. So it's nice and crunchy. But for Basama, I put them in there traditionally, which is this way.
Yeah. So, and then all the 3 books, they are all in Dutch at the moment, right?
All 3 books are in Dutch at the moment, which is working on it. We're working on the English one.
So we need people are watching to demand in English. Yes. So I think your publisher is going to be very kindly to translate that to English. I'm sure it's going to be. Well, we're going to do Francis world domination. So that's what we're going to do. Yes.
Right, now you can see that I'm standing the Martabak up sideways because I want the sides to cook as well. So these are almost done, Norman.
Good. Okay. So, well, it's okay. You got about 2-3 minutes anyway before I can start cooking mine. Yeah. Yeah.
These are looking so yum.
Is that what you're gonna have for dinner tonight?
Yes. Yes. This is well. I could probably eat half, but this will be my dinner. Yes.
See, now I wish I'm your neighbor, very close. Well, for anyone's watching, Francis is in Tilburg. Okay, so that Tilburg is about an hour and a half from The Hague.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I went down to visit Francis once for the photo. It's I think it's for the for the photography.
Newspaper.
Yeah, for the newspaper. Yes, we did a photo shoot for the newspaper, and it's such a lovely place. So I'm working my heart I'm working hard to get to buy one property down there one day. Who knows? Okay.
Who knows? Who knows?
Always dream big. Okay.
This is looking really good. Actually, I'm going to turn my heat off already. And you can see how nicely toasted these are.
Beautiful.
There we go.
Wow.
These are perfect. So I leave them on some kitchen towels just to let any of the excess fat come off, but they're nice and brown. And they're crispy, just the way I like them. So I'm very, very pleased. Now, shall I cut one so you can see what it looks like?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
That crunch.
Yeah, you can hear the crunch.
Yeah.
There you go. And look, you know, I don't know if you can see. Maybe I'll just see if I can bring it up closer to the camera.
Yeah.
See what people see. There we go. Just got to walk around my bench. Look, there you go. You can see all the fresh vegetables. They've still held in their shape. Mm-hmm. So they're not soft. They're not squishy. It's really, really yum.
Beautiful.
Quite happy with that. Dinner tonight.
Well, I guess like you're gonna have many people like following your recipe after this, and then cooking up this wonderful. It's a vegan now, isn't it? It's not vegetarian anymore. Vegan martabak. Yeah.
This is a vegan one, and I've made it vegan by leaving the eggs out and using the pureed corn in combination with an extra tablespoon of flour and a little bit of water to bind it all together.
Great.
So, and it works. It's actually, my daughter has eaten all of the martabak, but she likes this one best.
Really? Yeah. I can imagine like the texture, beautiful texture of all the vegetables. Great. So if they want the recipe, they have to go to your website. Okay. So you want to tell them your website? My
website is Frances Butt Pentanel, so .nl. You can see it there on the screen, down there on the screen. And there is a chapter or a tab for recipes. And then I have already posted the Dutch one and the English one. And you also a downloadable version as well. So you'll see a little printer on there. You can click on the button and you can print it.
Great. So I'm always proud to tell everyone about Frances, my good friend. So my dream is like to fly her over to London one day, or to the UK, and then get her to run masterclasses, workshops there. So watch this space, okay? So
looking forward to that.
Yeah. Because I think in the UK, like the Indonesian cuisine, like Malaysian cuisine, like very underrated. Yeah. So all other cuisines like quite very big there. So we have to be there, Frances. We have to promote our cuisine.
We do, and you also find that I'm understanding that there are more and more ingredients available over there as well. So that's a good thing.
So that's the exciting thing about cooking in the UK. Right, so I'm gonna get on with my cooking now. So Frances is gonna join me towards the end because so we're gonna read out questions while I'm cooking. She's gonna read out any questions or comments. Okay, so so you've seen how Frances cooked this very exciting martabak. So give thumbs like for her, right? So okay, so it's now my turn. Yeah.
We'll see you in a bit.
Okay, see you in a bit. Right. Okay, great. So welcome again for anyone who's just joined us. And today I'm going to be cooking vegan three bean and potato. Yep. So this is something that I actually retrieved from I'm trying to find my recipe calendar actually. My recipe calendar is like full of about 12 recipes of curries. So there's a meat, beef, and also there's a lamb curry, chicken curry. So just to show you what the calendar looks like. So my iPad is designed myself and it's iPad friendly to show you from the cover. So if you want to get a copy of this, you can go to my website, www.normanmusa.com. There's a link that you can click. It's like an online shopping. So you can get all these recipes, okay, from my website, also from the link. So there you go. So that's the 3 bean and potato curry, okay? Right, let's get cooking. Right, I'm gonna move the camera so you're gonna see of the chopping board and so all the ingredients. Just adjust it a bit. Okay, so first I'm gonna start with slicing the shallots. Yeah. So just thinly slice this. So this is a banana shallot. If you using like Asian shallots, so you can add like 5 or 6 shallots. Yeah. And also I prepared 2 other ingredients. Well, actually 3. So this is garlic, finely chopped. I think everyone knows how to chop the garlic. And so ginger, fresh ginger. And also this is the green chili. So remove the seeds and then just finely chop the green chilies. Okay. If you like it spicy, you can add more chilies, or you can just use the red chili. It's fine. Yeah. And then in terms of the spices, now these are ground meat spices. You can prepare this yourself. This is a mixture of turmeric powder, ground turmeric. Okay, so that's about a teaspoon, and then 1 tablespoon of coriander powder, ground coriander, and then 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, and also 2 teaspoons of ground paprika. Okay, if you like it spicy, you can add like chili powder. Yeah, so that's what you can do. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a dash of water. Just give a good mix. So that is ready for your ground meat spices. So you can prepare this very quickly, yeah. So I mean, this dish, I mean, can be cooked in like just 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, that's ready. And then for the beans, I have 3 types of beans. Okay, so I have the green kidney beans. Okay, and then this is a red kidney beans, and also this is a black beans. Yeah, so you can always, add different kind of beans or chickpeas if you want, lentils. Now these are from the cans, right? So it's about 200 grams each. So in total, it's about 600 grams. Okay. And here I have the baby potatoes. So these have been cooked, half cooked. So, but again, you can prepare these. You can use the big potatoes if you want to. The best is always to pre-boil them first. Yeah. Right, so I have all the ingredients ready, and I'm ready to cook. Just gonna bring the camera to the pan so you can see it better. Okay, so just heat up your saucepan. So I'm gonna start with vegetable oil. So this is about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Just going in. You can see it better. Okay. Right. Now, when the oil is hot enough, you can feel the heat on your palm actually when you know when it's ready. Or you can just start by just adding the spices. So I'm gonna start with the cinnamon bark. So when it starts like sizzling, so you know that the oil is ready. And then for to infuse the oil, I have here cinnamon bark or cinnamon stick, you call it, star anise, which I'm just gonna add in, yeah. And then bay leaf. Now, not many people can get like a curry leaf easily, right? So you can always just replace them with the bay leaf, yeah. So just get about 3, or just about 4 of that. So spices, I have here black mustard seed, which I'm gonna add in half teaspoon. Don't want too much because otherwise it's gonna be too bitter. Okay. I'm gonna turn down the heat a bit, otherwise it's gonna start popping. And then here I have cumin seeds. Okay, so it's about half teaspoon. It's ready. Now I can put the heat up a bit. I think I turned off the heat. Let me just put this back on. Let's try that. Okay, good. Wow, it smells beautiful. Okay. So now we're ready to add in. So once you start smelling the fragrance of all these spices, shallot. and also have the garlic. Okay, so garlic, ginger, and also chili, green chili. So saute this for about 2 to 3 minutes until the shallot and garlic, ginger start turning golden brown. So the way of my way of cooking is always like a batch of ingredients going into stages. So you saw the first batch of ingredients, which are all the spices, and also bay leaf going in first, and then the second batch, which is all the shallots, garlic, ginger, and also chili. Yeah. And then after this, it's going to be spices. Yeah. So all these ground spices. Okay. And in terms of seasoning, I have the sea salt, just a bit of sugar, just about like a half teaspoon of sugar. If you don't like sugar, you don't have to add in sugar. Yeah. And also tamarind. Now, if you don't have a tamarind paste, you can always just replace with lime juice or lemon juice. Yeah. So it's just about a tablespoon, and have your potatoes as well going. And coconut milk. So we need about 100 ml of coconut milk. Let's try to bring the camera closer to the pan so you can see it better. Okay. Right, looks like ready now. The next batch of ingredients, I have here the ground mix spices. So again, this is a ground turmeric, ground coriander, ground cumin, and also paprika. Okay, always you can replace with paprika with the chili powder if you want it spicy. So just cook that for like a minute or so, and then we're gonna start seasoning it, yeah, with salt, sugar, and also tamarind. So again, this is a recipe from my recipe calendar. So my recipe calendar for 2021 is full of like 12 recipes, curry recipes, the mixture of vegan, vegetarian, meat, and also seafood. Right, ready for my salt. Just gonna. So this is like a coarse sea salt. You can just use the fine sea salt is fine. Just a bit of a sugar, and also tamarind. Add about. Okay, there you go. Then turn down the heat a bit. So tiny bit of water. Now you can imagine the smell in my kitchen now. Okay, so this is going to be my dinner tonight. But instead of having with rice, I'm going to have it with, I think it's just with noodles or something. Yeah, you can always have it with rice or noodles or even bread slices if you want to. Yeah, simple as that. Right. So it's important to make sure that the ground mix spices kind of cook properly. Yeah. So at this stage, this is when you're going to start seeing like the oil kind of start coming out, separating. Yeah, so which is good. And now we're ready for our beans. Well, I'm going to start with the potatoes first, okay? Because the beans are quite delicate, right? So I'm going to cook the potato first. Just coat the potato with all this curry paste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the beans towards the end because I don't want to like the beans kind of like get so soft and then mixed up with all the sauces. And I'm going to add in the coconut milk, about 100 ml. That's how I measure my coconut milk actually. You can always just use measuring cup if you want to, okay? So because that is 500 ml coconut milk, and then this is 100 ml of water. Okay, just give a bit of sauce to it. Now we're going to bring this to boil. If you want to add any other ingredients, you can always just like add in other vegetables like carrots, fine beans if you want. I like my curry to look, or my dish to look very colorful. And yeah, so you can be creative. You can add any other vegetables. And you can always add in like boiled eggs if you want to as well. Yeah. So I'm going to bring this to boil. I'm going to taste it a bit just to make sure that the seasoning is good. Just maybe a bit more salt. Just a tiny bit of salt. Okay. Always good to taste your dish before you serve it. Let's have another taste. Nice and creamy. Francis, I can't hear you. Sorry.
Let's unmute. I can see it. That looks fabulous. Looks really yummy.
Now, do you know what? This can be perfect to go with your martabak. What do you think?
I reckon, but you live too far away.
I know. I know.
I have to admit, though, look, I already ate one.
Oh, have you?
I did. I had half of one already.
Oh, actually, it's a dinner time for Dutch, isn't it? Like 6 o'clock, right? Are you following 6 o'clock your dinner time?
Yes. Well, 6 o'clock is dinner time, but I have to admit, anytime anything is delicious, I can be eating all day.
Right. So I can see that it's all boiling nicely now. I'm ready to add in the beans. Yeah. So three types of bean. So that's going in.
It's great that you can use tinned vegetables for this, for tinned beans for this. It's good.
Now, the tip that I want to share is like after you open up the cans, the best is to kind of rinse with the cold water. Yeah, because I think it's just is it brine or a liquid that they put in there? It's kind of a thicken up. So the best is to quickly rinse it with cold water. Yeah. So don't worry about, because you're not going to get rid of all the flavors of the beans and everything, because the flavor is going to come from these ground spices. That's the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been looking at the comments and people that have been logging in, and I'm reading in a lot of places that people are going to be making these dishes. So, so that would be great if you're going to make these dishes. Post them to us. Send them live. Post them to our Facebook, to our Instagram. Just let us know how your dishes have turned out.
Yes, we want them to create all the noises they can. Like, of course, they're gonna get likes from us. Okay, thumbs like and everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Right. So this is almost ready. So I'm just gonna cook it for another minute, and it should be ready.
To you, Norman, when you have a dish like this, do
Mhm.
you ever just bulk it up with more vegetables and not use noodles or rice to eat it with?
Yeah, I try to eat less carbs to be honest. So and then recently I've been kind of addicted to cauliflower rice.
Oh,
So
yes.
that's another thing. Actually, it's really good. I like it. And yeah, so you can actually just eat it like that, or even with toast or something. So
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about turning it into like a soup. Perhaps it could work as well. Yeah. So
Well,
maybe.
a
Hmm.
stew with just vegetables is fabulous.
Yeah. Let me just dish this out. Let me just find a bowl. So yeah, so this is almost ready. I'm just gonna find a bowl. I don't actually have a small bowl. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let's just have this pretty bowl to serve in. So we got about 10 minutes left. So yeah, I hope like many people are gonna be so excited with this the dishes that we cooked today, right?
I think so. I mean, they're great foods, and they're good dishes to be cooking at the end of a day.
Yeah, yeah. That's the whole thing about these live demos. We want to inspire people like cooking something simple, not
Yes.
something complicated. Yeah, so something that you can put together like in 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, so that's the
Yep.
aim. And I hope you're gonna come back and cook along with me again after this, because you have a plan as well, right? So you want to do like a spin-off. Yeah, so that's
We
something
do,
exciting.
yes. Yeah, we're quite excited. We were working on a spin-off. I suppose we shouldn't say what it is yet, should we?
Yeah,
No. We'll
but I
keep
do
that
want
one a
people.
little bit of a secret, but we're hoping to do a spin-off. So Norman and I are going to be doing some fun things.
Yes. Sorry, have I revealed the secret too soon?
No, not yet. It's all right. You've said just enough.
I don't know what it's all about actually. Yeah, so that's the whole idea actually. And then of course, I mean, I would love to have you back coming to inspire many people like to cook another dish, perhaps from your cookbook as well. Yeah.
Well,
So
thank you.
let me see. Like, well, we got about like 7 minutes left. We're very
Yeah.
quick, aren't we?
We are.
Well, pat on our backs actually. Let's have a look at the. Let's see the comments. Sorry, I have to bring my laptop just to see all the comments like from people watching.
Yeah, I've
But
just
again,
been looking as well.
but again, like I'm sure we're gonna get what we're gonna try to do after this. We're gonna so this has been recorded and we're gonna post this on the Instagram, so get people to
Yep.
to watch this again and again. Yeah.
Yep.
And of course, Francis mentioned about where to get the recipe. And for my recipe, you have to get it from my calendar. It's only €2. It's not much. Okay. So yeah. And then, of course, I have other projects that are going on at the moment as well. So one of them is Travel Cook Eat. Yeah, Travel Cook Eat is happening this Saturday at 10:30 UK time, at 11:30 Dutch time. Yeah, so it's actually a virtual travel and also the cook along demo. So people can choose whether they want to cook along with me, because there's a recipe in the e-travel pack. So to get this, to join this event, the show, you have to go to my website, nomomsa.com, and there's a button to click for the tickets. It's only £5 plus fees, and then it's very, very cheap. Yeah. So yeah, again, we're gonna take them to Penang, my hometown. Okay.
Nice.
You
Nice.
joining me, right? As well this Saturday.
I will be joining you. I was lucky I got to see the pilot, and this one
Yeah.
has even been upgraded as well. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we have a few more guests actually joining us, and we're featuring like this. I just love this Eastern Oriental Hotel. Yeah, so
Nice.
they're gonna be joining us for the show. That's another one that I should take you to Penang, to my hometown, and we can stay at that hotel.
Oh,
That's
nice.
okay. Well, we can travel again. Yeah. So Francis, we've got like about 5 minutes left. Is there anything that you want to share with the
Yes.
viewers?
Yeah, I do. I've got a few really interesting things coming up that I'm quite excited about. We've got, well, first of all, Saturday, I'm cooking live. I'm just going to flick the camera on my phone. You can cook with me if you like. But I also have a boot camp coming up.
Yeah.
And in the boot camp, we're going to be baking 5 evenings straight every day for about 2.5 hours. We have a really interesting menu. There will be a lot of techniques that you know, cake that you know, but they will have Indonesian flavors. There will be a speck cook, the layer cake that everybody already knows. We're doing pandan truffles. We're doing a gâteau, a French gâteau, but then with Indonesian flavors. We're doing little marshmallow biscuits. We're doing, let me have a think. And we're making cookies.
Wow.
Speck cook cookies, my own creation. So it's going to be full on, but the registrations are coming in. So sign up. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You launched it yesterday and people started sign up already, right?
Last night. I launched it last night and we've got people.
I'm going to be camping outside your house. You don't when you start baking it, I'm going to be camping outside there. So you just just drop in any leftovers whatsoever. I'm happy to.
Anytime. You're welcome.
Yeah, great. So let's have a look at time. So we got about just less than 4 minutes left. So just for anyone just to join halfway through, right? So this is the new kind of show that I've been working on together with my friends. Actually, this is your idea, Francis, right? Yeah. So that means you have to come back very often then after this, yeah? Yeah, so every Thursday I'll be joining with all my friends. So I have all the friends actually booked up until April now. Yeah, so I have Melissa from The Hague joining me next week, and then I have Alan Rosenthal from London. So he just published his new book. So I'm also excited about his dish that he's going to be cooking. So it's been picked from his cookbook as well. And then I have Bada. But Bada he's in France. And then when I had a restaurant in Malaysia before, and then he went to Malaysia, spent a whole month with me, I think a month or 2 months, to learn about Malaysian cuisine. So he's a pure French. So now he set up, he has, I think, 2 or 3 restaurants in France, promoting Malaysian cuisine as well. So how exciting is that? So he's he's joining me on the 18th, and I have lovely Nora French joining on the 25th of March. So it's all been booked up already. And
nice.
Do check out the time, because the time may vary, because but again, it's going to be every Thursday. But if you missed out, just go to the YouTube channel so you can catch up on that. Yeah. So right. So about 2 minutes left before we say goodbye. Anything? Yeah.
Well, we've still got some people coming in and saying hi. It's nice. We've got Chef Agus.
Oh, Chef Agus.
Yes, which has a fabulous kitchen. Oh, look, there he is.
Yeah.
Hi, Agus. Good to see you.
Maybe we can get Agus to come and join us in future.
Oh, yes. Who knows?
Yeah. But the most important thing is we need everyone's support to follow us on our social media on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, just to create this noise. And then we're going to be back for you, feeding out all these wonderful recipes. Get everyone to get excited cooking in the kitchen. Yeah, with our recipes. That's what we want. Yeah,
that's what we want.
Okay,
good, healthy dishes.
Great. So we're going to say goodbye now. Thank you very much, Francis, for joining me. I think it's a success, right? Would you agree?
Yes. I had a lot of fun.
Yes.
And I love the food.
Thank you. So so catch up on us on our social media. Yeah. So again, get our recipes as well. Yeah. So I'm going to say goodbye now. So bye, Francis. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, Norman. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Take care.